तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ओम गुरुदेव भगवान शिव शंकर भोलेनाथ कैलाशपति महाराज की जय। भगवान व्यास जी महाराज की जय। शंकराचार्य भगवान की जय। स्वामी चिन्मयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी दयानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी प्रबुद्धानंद भगवान की जय। स्वामी शुद्धानंद भगवान की जय। साध्वी आनंद ज्योति जी की जय। माता पिता की जय। सभी गुरु देवताओं की जय। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता chapter number 4 verse number 38 we are going to see in detail today. We saw verse number 36 and 37 yesterday. The fire of knowledge reduces all actions to ashes. Just as a well-lighted fire reduces wood to ashes, so too the fire of knowledge reduces all actions to ashes. When knowledge happens, all your karmas are exhausted immediately. All sanchit karma and agami karmas are exhausted, and the body continues to live on prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma starts the day when the body was born. So it continues till the body ends. And the day prarabdha karma exhausts, the body goes. And then there is, when gyan, for a jnani, when knowledge happens, the body is already not there. He is not the body now. This is what Bhagwan is trying to explain. Bhagwan says the knowledge is the greatest purifier in verse number 38. Bhagwan says, नहि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रं मिहे विद्यते तत्स्वयं योगसिद्ध संसिद्धः कालेनात्मनि विन्दन्ति। नहि ज्ञानेन सदृशं पवित्रम इह विद्यते तत् स्वयं योग संसिद्ध कालेन आत्मनि विन्दति। This Bhagwan says, in this world He means indeed. Iha, in this world. Jnanena sadarsham, equivalent to knowledge. Pavitram, that which purifies. Na vidyate, does not exist. Kalena, in time. Yoga sama siddha, one who has attained preparedness through karma yoga. The one who is prepared, who has attained preparedness through karma yoga. Atmani, in the mind. Swayam, naturally. Tat, that knowledge. Vindhati, gains. In this world, there is indeed no purifier equivalent to the knowledge. And today's time we need the best purifier. And the purifier is only knowledge. Only knowledge is the purifier. One who has in time attained preparedness through karma yoga naturally gains knowledge in the mind. The one who has who is ready for the knowledge, the one who is prepared through karma yoga for the knowledge, purifies himself. The word sadarsha, along with the noun in the third or instrumental case, means equivalent to in English. Thus, jnanena sadarsham means equivalent to knowledge in terms of his ability to purify. There are many means like rituals, charities, prayers, and so on for self-purification. But none of them equals knowledge, self-knowledge. They all are purifiers. All rituals, all bhakti, all bhajans, charity, prayers, and so on, all are for self-purification. But none of them is equal to the self-knowledge. Prayer is a very important means of purification, no doubt, but it is not equal to knowledge. Only knowledge can destroy the karta. In prayer, the karta is there. But in knowledge, karta is understood. The one who prays, being the karta, prayer cannot destroy the karta. Since there is karta while doing a prayer, the kartatva buddhi is there. So karta is not destroyed. It cannot be destroyed. There is a person offering a prayer. Because prayer gives rise to a desirable result, it is also considered to be a purifier. But there is nothing that purifies self like self-knowledge. Prayer can lead you to the knowledge of what is, but it is that knowledge alone. It is the knowledge alone that releases you completely, even from the need of prayer. Prayer implies some impurities or imperfection, ashuddhi on your part. The sense of limitation, bondage and helplessness is a form of ashuddhi, because of which prayer emerges from you. This sense of helplessness is centered on the karta, the doer, the one who prays. The gratefulness result of a prayer is knowledge, which is the best purifier because it eliminates all senses. It eliminates all senses of helplessness by releasing you from the very notion that you are imperfect, subject to various forms of limitations. Self-knowledge releases you totally from the doership and sorrow. Preparedness through yoga. How one is to be prepared for the knowledge. That is karma yoga. In Gita, the word yoga is generally used in the sense of karma yoga, and occasionally in the sense of Jnana Yoga, depending on the context. Here, yoga as a means for gaining success in one's pursuit of knowledge means Karma Yoga. One who has succeeded in becoming eligible for knowledge. How can one become eligible for knowledge? Is through Karma Yoga alone. Through purification of the mind, the readiness is expressed. Who has gained the preparedness of the mind to make him or her competent to receive the knowledge is called Yoga Samasiddha in this verse. Such a person has gained Antakaran Shuddhi, purification of the mind, meaning that mind of the person is steady and enjoys a certain freedom from Raga Dveshas. The one whose Antakaran Shuddhi is done is ready for knowledge. And how is Antakaran Shuddhi done? Through Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga is to be done. All karmas have to be converted into Karma Yoga. And the only way is through offering all the karmas to God. Doing all the karmas in prarthanatmak way, prayerfully, leaving all the karmas on to God. The accomplishment of this kind of mind requires time. It can happen immediately or it can take time, but expression in time, kalena, here does not necessarily implies a long time. It can be done in the flicks of second, or it can take many lives. Here Kalen only means time. Therefore, if you ask, how long will I have to do Karma Yoga? I cannot give you any specific period of time. I cannot say, for example, practice Karma Yoga for 3 years and Jnana Yoga for 4 years. The expression in time does not have such a meaning here because we are not producing anything. For instance, if there is a production involved in baking cookies, I can mix ingredients together and bake it for 20 minutes at 350 degree Fahrenheit. Then the cookies will be ready. The exact time can be stated only when something new is being produced or when something is happening that can be predicted in terms of time. Here, however, nothing new is to be created since you are already Brahman. Where is the question of time? You have to recognize correction of error can take unlimited number of lives time and it can be completed in flicks of a second. The correction can take place at any moment. There is just a flicks of second, or it can take millions of years, and the jiva may remain in the error. And if you do not know that you are Brahman, you had better know. And when you will know, then when you are ready, then the next question is, when will that be? All you need to do now is to live your life with the right attitude, the pursuit of knowledge. This is Hamare Swamiji is also says the same thing. He says, you keep on doing your duties with correct attitude. The correct attitude will pursue towards knowledge. The correct attitude will prepare the mind for knowledge. Doing karma in right attitude. In this way, gain of the knowledge will take care of itself in time. You will gain it. If you keep on doing your karma, with right attitude. Right attitude means offering them to God, leaving everything to God. In time you will gain it naturally, because what you are trying to gain is already there. You don't have to create anything new. It is already there. Where does the knowledge take place? The knowledge take place where it always take place. In the mind, in the buddhi, atmani. The word atmani is not intended to convey its unusual meaning, namely in the self. Because that is not where knowledge take place. This knowledge of self is like any knowledge, and it take place in the buddhi, atmani, in the mind that is prepared. And from that mind the knowledge is. The mind the knowledge is. Further Bhagavan says, commitment to moksha along with shraddha, one gains absolute peace. Without shraddha, not possible. In verse number 39, Bhagavan says, he describes what else is required for gaining this knowledge and what is accomplished by the knowledge. Bhagavan says, श्रद्धावान लभते ज्ञानम तत्पर संयत्तिन्द्रियः ज्ञानम लब्ध्वा पराम शांतिम अचिरेण अधगच्छति. Shraddhavan, one who has faith in the Shastra and in the words of teacher. The one who has faith in what is being taught. Tatparaha, one who is committed to that knowledge. You have to be committed towards the knowledge. Samyattendriyaha, the one who is mastered of one's senses. Jnanam, knowledge. Labhate, gains. Jnanam, knowledge. Labdhava, having gained. Acharena, immediately. Parasantim, absolute. Parashantim, absolute peace. Adikcha gacchati, gains. One who has faith in the Shastra and in the words of teacher, who is committed to that knowledge and who is master of one's sense, gains the knowledge. Having gained the knowledge, one immediately gains absolute peace. Bhagavan says, this is an important and oft quoted verse of the Gita. Shraddhavan labhate jnana. The one who has faith in the Shastra gains the knowledge. Bhagavan Shankara introduced it by saying the verse points out the meaning by which this knowledge is gained without fail. Knowledge will definitely take place when the appropriate means is present. And what is that means because of which one will definitely gain the knowledge? First, one must have Shraddha, faith in Shastra and in the words of teacher. Both the faith in Shastras, whatever is taught, whatever is written in Shastra, one must have complete faith. And then the teacher, the one who is teaching. Gaining the knowledge is dependent upon this Shraddha, because of which the Shastra is looked upon as Paramana. See, earlier we have described correct teacher should be there, correct student, correct question. Now it is Shraddha, the faith. Without Shraddha in Shastra, one cannot look upon it as a Pramana. Pramana means that which is instrumental in gaining Parama, knowledge, and should not create doubts. Any doubt has to be converted into Parama, ascertained knowledge. The motivation to inquire further in order to convert a doubt or contradiction into Parama, which is non-contradictory, is created by attitude called Shraddha. Therefore, to gain the knowledge, the Shastra must be looked upon as means of knowledge only. Then can it deliver the goods. Without Shraddha, knowledge cannot be attained. Complete Shraddha. By adding two more qualifications, the verse also reveal that Shraddha alone is not enough. Faith in Shastra must be there. The faith should be at the right place. It should be in the Shastra. But there are people who are slow starters, meaning they do not have the necessary commitment. Perhaps they do not see the benefit of this knowledge, or they may not have discerned the problem of life. They haven't understood. For whatever reason, there may be those who have Shraddha in Shastra but do not have necessary commitment. शास्त्र में श्रद्धा होनी अति आवश्यक है. When there is no commitment backing up one's faith in the Shastra, the approach or attitude of the person towards the pursuit will be lukewarm. He will move very slowly. He will not have right attitude towards understanding. If Shraddha is not there, faith has to be there. Yes, I will gain knowledge, and the knowledge will liberate me, free from all the bondages. What does commitment mean here? There is a commitment when I recognize that I must have this knowledge, and there is nothing else that is important to me, and that I am prepared to burn all my boots. The person who has that kind of commitment to knowledge is called Tatpara. In this verse, para meaning one who is committed to. Other than knowledge, there is no way to gain this freedom. There is no way, sir. There is no way. You are bound. Bondage is there. Bondage with your choices. Bondage with your desires. Your desires to have money is bondage. Your desire toward duties toward your wife, husband, children, society is all bondage. Only, I am not saying don't do your duties. You have to do your duties. Despite of doing duty, one can be free from bondage. And knowledge is the only way, and Shastra is the only means towards knowledge. Only Shastra is the means, and right teacher teaching that Shastra. You do not become free from mortality, you already are immortal. The freedom is only in terms of knowing that you are immortal. It is possible for a person to be tatpara in that the person is committed to liberation, but he or she may not have Shraddha in the Shastra. Between liberation and the Shastra, there is a relation, a sambandha. One is sadhana, the means, sadhana, the means, and the other is sadhya, the end. In order to gain liberation, moksha, you go to the Shastra, for which you require Shraddha. You need to know that Shastra is the means, is the only means of knowledge, whereby you will gain the knowledge that is liberation. Shraddha may be there without tatparatva, commitment, and tatparatva may be there without Shraddha. In both Shraddha and commitment, if both Shraddha and commitment are there, the person looks upon the teaching as means to freedom, moksha, and also have love for that freedom. Until and unless you have love for freedom, you won't. You have love for your desires. Your mobile phone, the new mobile Apple phone which have come in the market, you have love for that. But you don't have love for the Shastra, for freedom. Have right attitude. Both Shraddha and commitment may be there, but the person may still not make it. Why? Because his or her mind is not together with reference to the sense and their pursuit. Dispassion and distraction therefore stand in person's way of gaining knowledge. So one more requirement is there. Samyat Tendariya, the one whose sense organs, meaning sense pursuits, are under control. See, this is also important. After having Shraddha and commitment, all your sense organs should be in your control. Control doesn't mean you should understand that whatever sense organs are looking for is not required. To understand this means that you do not propitiate your fancies, that you are not controlled by fancies. If you always go by your fancies, you will find no time for anything, even for something you have great love for. Samyatendriya here means one whose mind is steady. When such a person also have Shraddha in Shastra and is committed to moksha, he or she will definitely gain knowledge. There is no way, sir. You have to have the Shraddha, the commitment, and your buddhi should be ready with all senses in control, relative shanti and absolute shanti. What happens when this knowledge is gained? The person who gains this knowledge immediately gains absolute peace, param shanti. Achirena adi gacchati. This shanti is not the kind of peace or truths that exist between two doubts of conflict. It is the peace that is one's essential nature. Peace is usually understood to be the state of mind as opposed to agitation. That is also state of mind. You generally take yourself to be silent when actually the mind is silent, and therefore you think the self is agitated when actually it is the mind that is agitated. But peace referred to here is not a state of mind, it is rather the nature of the self, which is always silent, shanta. Regardless of the state of mind, a shanti for which one does not depend upon the condition of the mind is called para. Para shanti does not call for non-thinking mind because it is not opposed to thinking. Here we see two types of shanti. One is the shanti, tranquility, that is gained through yoga. By karma yoga, one gains certain tranquility that is purely a condition of the mind. Being condition of the mind, this shanti is subject to change. See, you may understand that this bhoga is just not required. You may get shanti when you renounce something, but that shanti may change. Someone may come and then change your Shanti. This type of Shanti is also necessity, but is indicated as Samyatendriyatva, mastery of the sense organs. A person who enjoys the Shanti gained by Karma Yoga gains another Shanti too, the absolute Shanti through knowledge. This is called Parashanti. In spite of what the mind thinks, the person knows, I am Shant, meaning that the level of I there is freedom. Freedom from Ashanti, because the person recognizes that Atma is always Shant. This recognition gives rise to Parashanti. Therefore, one is I am Shant, and another is recognizing the Shanti. Freedom from Ashanti. There might be Ashanti there, but you are free from that Ashanti. That Bhoga is there, but you are free from that Bhoga. That is Shanti. That is Parashanti. The peace discussed in this verse is your very nature, Swarupa Bhuta Shanti. And in the wake of knowledge it is gained Achirena, immediately. Na Chirena, not after a time. The person gains this Shanti, which is moksha, because of knowledge of the self, that is Shant. The day you recognize the self as Shant, the Shanti is attained. You have to recognize Shanti. Recognizing Shanti is freedom from Ashanti. It is Shanti all the way. And what is the distance in terms of time between knowledge and moksha? There is no distance between them. Knowledge is the means and moksha is the end. There is no distance between the means. Knowledge, means and moksha. The knowledge is means and the end is moksha. Just as there is no distance, no interval of time between eating food and appeasing hunger. In the wake of one, the other takes place. As you eat, so goes the hunger. It is not that you eat first and then the hunger goes after. As you eat, hunger goes. There is liberation. In the wake of one, the other take place. In the wake of knowledge, there is liberation. The second you understand rope as the snake as rope, the fear is gone. Correct understanding. See, as soon as you correctly understand rope as snake as rope, the fear is gone. It doesn't take a time. That time is not there. This is the meaning of the word achirena, nachirena, immediately. The order involved in gaining this knowledge. In this commentary of this verse, Shankaracharya ji clarifies the order involved in gaining this knowledge. First there is Shraddha. First there is Shraddha in Shastra as the means of knowledge. Then as the result of this Shraddha, a commitment arises that causes the person to give up everything and pursue the knowledge by approaching a teacher with proper attitude. See, both the things have to be simultaneously. You have to approach a right teacher with proper attitude. One who approaches the Guru has both Shraddha and Shastra as the means of knowledge and commitment to the knowledge. In addition, the person must have sense organs in control. Sense organs should be in control. Matlab, they should already be free from desires. These three factors being there, the knowledge will definitely be gained. Shankara also comments here on the three aspects of outward expression of Shraddha towards the teacher that we saw in verse number 34 of this chapter. Paranipata, prostration, pariprasanna, proper questioning, and seva, service. This is what we read in verse number 34. Paranipata, pariprasanna, and seva. Because these are external, they can be exhibited even without sufficient Shraddha. You can always put on an act. Just because you are smiling does not mean there is a smile inside. है ना, कहते हैं ना, आपकी मुस्कुराहट के पीछे जरूरी नहीं है कि आप खुश हैं. Same way, you may be crying at that time, but as soon as someone approaches you, you can wash your face quickly and seemingly say, hello, how are you? In the same way, prostrating to the teacher, asking questions, and even the service you perform to the teacher may be nothing more than an act. Therefore, Shankaracharya ji says that outward expression is not guarantee for knowledge because it can be false. You may have rightly asking questions to teacher. You may be properly questioning the teacher, right attitude. You may be doing seva to your teacher, but still you don't get knowledge. Why? Because Bhagavan says, without Shraddha, the prostration, questioning and service are not enough. Only when Shraddha is there does one's outward expression becomes the means for gaining knowledge. Thus in this verse, Bhagavan presents the positive aspects of Shraddha by telling Arjuna that Shraddhavan gains knowledge. In the next verse, he presents the negative aspects of stating what happens to one who does not have Shraddha. This we will see tomorrow. Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnad Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Om Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.